What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about this LittleBigPlanet rumor I saw circulate. Now, it very much seems to be fake, but LittleBigPlanet fans have obviously had, I think, the worst case of events that could ever happen. Beyond just like a game being like a Sly Cooper, somebody like me who loves Sly, right? We live in this perpetual state of just despair and misery of like it never happening. LittleBigPlanet actually had things just like kind of removed from them, right? Which is almost a worse thing. But I saw this yesterday on social media. Again, I don't think it's real. Zuby Tech, LittleBigPlanet Remastered may be coming to PS5, and they read out this entire thing. Step back into the vibrant, imaginative world of LittleBigPlanet with this all-in-one remastered experience rebuilt for the PS5. Rediscover Sackboy like never before with stunning, reimagined graphics, new content, and more. And they credit this person that, is not like a huge name, not an insider, at least that I can tell in any way. And I imagine this is the person that tipped Zuby Tech off to this post. Now, what this post is, though, is just an IMDb post. And as people have rightfully said, on Twitter, is that IMDb is just kind of like a glorified Wikipedia. It's a little bit brighter and snappier, and, it's just a little bit more professional, but it's the same thing. Anybody can make that. I think somebody made LittleBigPlanet 4. There's a post or a page, let's say, right, for LittleBigPlanet 4. Now, like, the description sounds accurate. Somebody I do think put time into, like, corporately, you know what I mean? Like, okay, that sounds like what you would say if you were literally providing a product to somebody and having a synopsis of it, right? When a game gets announced and you go on, like, the blog, you go on the site, it's got the little blurb of, like, what the game is. That very much sounds like very good. It sounds very official, but it's like anybody could make it. Now, I want to believe. I'd love to believe. And, the one reason I would say it's not 0% chance of it happening is because Media Molecule is doing God knows what, right? Like, we don't really know what they're doing. We know they were pulled off Dreams, okay? And it doesn't seem like that was their decision, right? Dreams was supposed to be it was a thing for a long time, and I think they did a good job, but it was, I think, supposed to be a thing for much longer, and it wasn't. And so, okay, whatever. They go on to something else. It very much feels like they were pulled and said, okay, you got to do something that's just going to be a little bit more successful. And the thing with Media Molecule that I think everybody, including myself, will say is, like, you want to preserve that talent and the imagination and the creativity of that studio. It's probably the most creative studio that PlayStation has. But, I mean, like, they have got to find something. Otherwise, I really think they're in danger of being shut down because their games just don't sell. And LittleBigPlanet, really, after, like, 2, didn't sell. LittleBigPlanet 1 and 2 were pretty big successes. They didn't even make 3. Sackboy Big Adventure, they didn't make either, and that wasn't very... it was received well in terms of like reception, but not in sales. So I guess, okay, why am I saying all that? It's like, doesn't make sense that they'd be pulled off of Dreams to do LittleBigPlanet 1 remastered. It deserves it. It deserves it because of all of the stuff with kind of repurposing all of these games into just LittleBigPlanet 3, and then for LittleBigPlanet 3 to kind of shut down in that way, they've killed it. And not they specifically, but like LittleBigPlanet, again, is not in a great situation. It makes sense to go back and bring it back and to do it through 1. Like, I'm for it. I would want it very, very much, but I just, pro con, like back forth. Like, it makes sense. It's a franchise that's kind of desperate for something like this to happen. Like, you'll have people that say, enough with the remasters. This is a franchise that deserves something like that. If nothing else, then because of what has happened to LittleBigPlanet recently. But then, okay, well, that's the pro, but what's the con? Where they pulled off of Dreams to do something to save their company, and they chose to do LittleBigPlanet Remastered. Like, is that going to work? And it's like, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. And also, for all of the, the negative stuff, it's why it deserves something positive. Well, let's not forget the negative. You know what I mean? It's a franchise that clearly has been abandoned in that way. I mean, I think Sackboy in the PlayStation Productions opening screen thing, Sackboy has been replaced with Astro, or Sackboy's just gone. Remember, I think I did a video on that a few months back with whatever Until Dawn, the Until Dawn movie. They redid that opening, and Sackboy's not there anymore. So it's like, this is a franchise and a thing in Sackboy, a character that is being erased, like, in real time. And it's like, so is that a franchise you would do a remaster for? You know what I mean? Like, Sly, at least, Sly 1, 2, and 3 came out natively for, PlayStation, the old version. So not streaming, basically, right? There's at least breathing. Like, that franchise is breathing. It's on life support, but it's breathing. And it's like Sackboy and Little Big Planet is being literally, like, murdered. For, like, it's being erased in front of our eyes. So a little bit different. So I want it to happen. It just doesn't really make sense that it would happen. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.